New Orleans, Louisiana raises many creative minds as it is a city filled with art. Mardi Gras inspires artists all over the world to make art that makes a statement to society. I spoke with a New Orleans native who began his journey with art in a very city that amazes tourists every day with its freedom of expression.
Hi, my name is Marcus Watson, and I am a New Orleans native. I've lived there for about maybe, 32 years, I would say. I had a pretty positive experience. I didn't, I don't know, I had a good childhood in New Orleans. I always went to the parks or to the movies or, um, did a lot of the New Orleans scenic things like the zoo and French Quarters and all of that. So I would say that growing up, um, it was pretty positive. I didn't really have any type of negative experience or responses or anything like that. So it was pretty decent. I grew up in the close to like the Lakeview area. So that was close to UNO, the lakefront. Um, I lived about 5 blocks from UNO, off of Leon C. Simon, um, and in St. Anthony. So not too far from there. Yeah, I would say so. Um, it's the Seventh Ward, and it it was pretty mixed, I would say. It was a mixed class of people, both class, race wise, all of that. Of course, there are some areas in New Orleans that are, heavily populated by blacks and whatnot, and then there's white areas and what have you. But the elementary school, even the high school to a certain degree, was just pretty diverse, and I felt safe. I think that, of course, there are some areas that are kind of seedy, but for the most part, where I stayed, it was relatively safe. Well, I always kind of knew how to draw. I mean, nobody really had to teach me. It was just like one of those gifts, one of those talents that was just kind of bestowed on me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it was just a hobby. But I think New Orleans kind of influenced me um, in the artistic sense with going to when I went on field trips to the to Noma and the Wax Museum and really the like Mardi Gras. Mardi Gras. This is kind of crazy, but one of the things that I absolutely loved as a child was looking at the floats and how the floats were decorated with the color and the scenes and the themes. And I really, really got into that. And at one point in time, I wanted to be like a float maker, someone that would design the floats and paint the floats and just decorate it. So it really, really kind of influenced me there to do the work that I would later produce as an adult. So and I'm just actually now thinking about that. I haven't thought about that in a while, but it inadvertently did that. So New Orleans also has a lot of galleries that I've come to find later on in life as an adult when I knew that I wanted to study art, go to school for art, that sort of thing, create art, make art. Um, and yeah, like there's just a number of galleries in like the uptown area. I would love to go back and visit and um, and see them and hopefully get into one of them, one day. So yeah. A lot of my work concentrates on the figure, on the male figure in particular, and I am um, my work, the way that I see it, is more talking about a social conscience, just looking at what I see around me and commenting on that through my art. So originally I was classically trained artist. So looking at what I see in front of me and drawing it to the T photorealistically, getting a little bit of that trompe l'oeil um, appearance. Um, but when I started grad school and when I started talking to my professors, they had me experiment and try out different mediums and really just kind of get out of my comfort zone. So now my art is now more, I still have a little bit of that photorealism, that realistic classical work, but I now try to blend in shapes and colors and forms in order to build up the figure. So it's kind of like both worlds within one. My role models would be those that actually had the courage enough to paint like big murals
Yeah, it's a
found in New Orleans. And again, like I was saying before, like the floats and whatnot, those in a sense are kind of like murals because they're on a surface and they're larger than life, and they entertain to a certain degree people. They teach people about whatever the theme it is on the float. So I don't think I could pin it down to one person. It's more so the group of people that have created all of that work. I left as a result of Katrina, Hurricane Katrina, in 2015. I moved, I was still in Louisiana. I moved to a small town west of New Orleans called Lake Charles, Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
And it's there where I wanted a change. I wanted something new. I wanted something different. So that's when I enrolled in the college there, the university there, and that's where I started art. So I made sure to get that bio degree first because if I couldn't make anything or do anything with my bachelor's in art, then I could always fall back on that. So really, it was after Hurricane Katrina where it just kind of I just left New Orleans, and from Lake Charles, Louisiana, I went up to Seattle for grad school and did 2 years there, got my master's, and then came back down to New Orleans. And I was just I was looking for a teaching job. I wanted to teach art, but New Orleans had changed a lot as far as from what I knew. Um, I didn't really think about going back to my own high school and teaching there. I mean, although I probably could have. But again, New Orleans had just changed for some reason. I don't know. It changed. So that's when I decided to look elsewhere. And I got a teaching job in Memphis. And I've been here ever since. And that was, again, 2015. I will say that Mardi Gras, and not to sound stereotypical or anything like that, but Mardi Gras is one of those events that really brings people together, regardless of class, regardless of race. Um, New Orleanians, Louisianians just love to have fun. And you don't see that elsewhere. You don't see that really anywhere else across the country. And there's something about New Orleans that has that flavor, that vibe, and people just get so seduced by it, and they're in it. When you're born into it, it's a common, regular, everyday thing. But it isn't until you go elsewhere where you realize the magic that was there, that you just had grown accustomed to. It's just a regular, ordinary thing. New Orleanians just get it. It's standard to them. Whereas, someone from elsewhere that's coming to visit New Orleans, especially at Mardi Gras time, it's just like, oh my God, oh my God, people dancing and singing in the streets and just having a good time, and it's wonderful, really, to see that, and I think what's sad about this whole thing with COVID is that we won't get to have it this year, and it, it, we need that.